Oregon versus Washington reaction, and it is live. And I'm your boy, George Wrighster, former NFL player, college football player, college football analyst over at CW. And it is Oregon State, Washington State is on right now, but I'm taking a little TO to make sure that I bring you guys live the reaction to the game. So, Oregon wins this game 26-14. Big time victory. Oregon was favored by only 6.5 points in this game, even though the line opened up a lot bigger. This was an effective performance. I'll even go so further. If you are a Washington fan or you're an Oregon fan, either way, you are happy about the outcome of this game. Now, the reason why Washington fans have to be happy is they got their head coach in Jed Fish. I mean, assuming that nothing weird happens in the next few days with him taking some other head coaching job, which I don't necessarily see happening, but he's doing a great job. And Washington is building something. They clearly are. Their defense was tough today against the run. They are doing a good job against they didn't do a great job in the pass game today, but against the run, they were physical and they did a really good job of containing, of containing, well, excuse me, of running the football as well. So let's get to the good points and the bad. Well, actually, so that's the good part for Washington. But now let's talk about what the good part for Oregon is. Oregon, you finish 11-1. Dacorian Moore is not healthy. Your offensive line, even though Poncho, Isaiah World, Harkey all played today, they're not 100% healthy. You are no Gary Bryant Jr., no Evan Stewart. You are running with not at full strength. So if you're Oregon, you're like, cool, like let's get to the playoffs. You're going to 100% be in the playoffs. It's just a matter of where you play, when you play at this point in time. That's it. That is all the discussion that is about. And you are happy as well if you're Oregon because Dante Moore, if you look at the growth of him from week 1 to week 14, which we're in right now, this is an entirely different human. You see the confidence at which he's playing with. You see the command of the team. You see the command of the of the offense, the leadership, the everything. This kid is 100% a Sunday player. Now, here's the other thing. Now, also looking forward to the future because people are always talking about, oh, the future, the future, the future. So, Poncho and Dante are very, very good friends. There is a chance that you could get Poncho back, presuming that Dante comes back, which I believe the kid will because he's looking at the future. Then Kenyon Sadiq is gone. Obviously, Jamar Johnson's going to be back. The other tight end, all the wide receivers should be back. This team is built well for the future, and you may actually get one of the edges back out of Tatum or Mateo as well. So this team, obviously, for the future is looking really good. But let's not talk about the future. Let's talk about today. So I was talking about Dante Moore. 20 for 29 for 286 and a touchdown. And truthfully, had he not missed Kenyon Sadiq if he throws that ball a foot more inbounds, Oregon goes up 17-0, and he has well over 300 yards, multiple touchdowns, completion percentage even better. So it wasn't perfect, but it was good. It was very, very good. And a lot of the good was done by Oregon's defense. They put Washington in the pass game in a headlock. Damon Williams, 50%, 15 for 30, a buck 29. A buck 29. 2 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. They overwhelmed him just like they did last year with the pass rush, except for Washington's better. So they only gave up 2 sacks, but the amount of pressures and the amount of hurries was just it was just, oh no, I'm sorry. uh they gave up 4 sacks. So Oregon had 4 sacks and 6 total tackles for loss. That was very good, and they probably should have had another 4 sacks, but Demond Williams is electric with his legs, and he was able to keep his balance and everything else. But this kid is gonna need a cold tub after the game because he took a pounding. Like, there is very few quarterbacks that are 5'10", 190 pounds that can do what he just did today in terms of the amount of big hits that he took. Now, Washington was not at 100% full steam either. Obviously, Jonah Coleman only took 9 carries, but Adam Muhammad, Lord have mercy, that dude is special. I was a Jonah Coleman fan, but Adam Muhammad's better. Even though that Jonah Coleman's not 100% healthy, Muhammad just got more juice. And then you ended up with Denzel Boston today, only 4 catches for 25 yards, and but 2 big touchdowns, including that 4th down and 8. I now it is always every single day Huck the Fuskies. But I'm college football's honesty broker, so we got to tell the truth. This is not a bad football team. This is a football team that is headed in the right direction, and Oregon fans can expect some battles going forward. Now, it's going to be easier in Eugene, but it is going to be a battle with the Huskies as long as Jed Fish is there because they're not the team that's going to transfer portal in 100 kids and all of this stuff. They're going to high school recruit. They're going to build. They have a very good coaching staff. Their defensive coordinator is an absolute stud. He was Purdue's head coach last year, but he was a fantastic defensive coordinator prior to that. And they will just be an absolute menace. An absolute menace. So, okay. So that's where we're at with. I am, and you guys can hop in the chat, but first of all, make sure that you guys like, subscribe, get notifications, tell a friend. If you're watching on X, go over to YouTube. And because you guys have made this one of the fastest growing college football shows on all of YouTube, and I show up whether I'm at work. You see my IFB still sitting right here. I'll be back on set in a little bit, but you guys have made this one of the fastest growing shows, and I appreciate you guys for it, and and all of that. But let's get to where the Ducks stand right now. They were number 6 in the college football playoff last week. Okay. And when you look at this week, all right, so I'm gonna put up the rankings right now. Okay, so here are the rankings here. So the Ducks are at 6. They're not gonna jump in front of Texas Tech, who they should be thrown in jail for what they did to West Virginia today. That was utterly gross. Now, here's the thing. Georgia, who obviously took care of business versus Georgia Tech yesterday, that Oregon's not going to jump them. But that's the question about Texas Tech, because Texas Tech then lost to the number 16 team in the country in Texas. And when you examine their schedule, they this was Texas was the first team that they played that was in the top 8 currently in the SEC rankings. They won the schedule roulette outside of that Notre Dame win. So I would expect that Texas A&M falls behind Oregon. So Oregon will move up to the 5 spot. And that's probably where they stay unless Georgia gets beat in the SEC championship. And honestly, if you're Oregon, you can't be mad at that because in the 5 spot, you will get the group of 5 champion. And I, for one, I have 100% said all year that this era of college football is about styles making fights. The team that gets the best path for them to the college football championship is going to win it. It is not going to be like there is I mean Ohio State today against Michigan. Granted, Michigan has had trouble throwing the ball at times all year this year, but Ohio State looks they have not been tested. They have just kicked everybody in the absolute teeth all year. We will see what happens when they play Indiana in the Big Ten championship, but that's settled. That 100% is settled. We are looking at, and they get a chance to play the group of 5 champion. So let's look at the bracket, right? So this is the bracket as it stands right now. So you have Oregon would be playing Tulane in this scenario, or whoever the group of five, and then possibly get who falls into the four spot. I mean, well, Texas Tech could fall into the four spot. And that honestly, to me, is the most dangerous team in college football right now, is Texas Tech. That team is official tissue. Their defense is spectacular. It's not good. It is spectacular. And it is honestly one of the games that I'm like, ooh, ooh, ooh. Like if you're Oregon, you're like, oh God, I don't know if you I'm not sure if that's the matchup. And I'm happy. Like people asked me on some of the shows I did this week, they asked me what I thought about whether I wanted Oregon to get into the Big Ten championship or whether whether they were going to get into the Big Ten championship or whether I wanted them to, you know, uh, just be a seed or whatever. And I was like, listen, I took the Kirby Smart approach. You want whatever happens, and you need to kick people's ass in the process. That's it. Don't sit up here and try to manufacture, because you may try to manufacture yourself into an ass whooping. so so you just gotta hope that you get a good matchup. And Oregon, unless they sneak in and get a bye, which honestly I would rather Oregon play a home playoff game, and not for any strategical reason. It all has to do with, I believe the fans deserve an opportunity to watch their team play postseason game at home. All first round games, and then even the second round games. It would be, now imagine how big of a home field advantage that would be if you got a bye and then got to play at home. That's where the magic is at, people. That's where the magic is at. Is you get a bye, like that is worthwhile. You would fight for that, because having a bye didn't help Oregon, Georgia, Boise State, or Arizona State last year. They all lost. It was 5, 6, 7, 8 in the second round of the playoffs because that long layoff hurt people. And now Oregon, likely, provided they don't get in one of the top four seats, is going to then host a home playoff game, get a chance to warm up, and then go play somebody. That's tough. That is 100% tough. All right. And you guys continue to hop in the chat. I will, look at things in the chat. But let's talk about some of the players, right? So for Washington, standout, absolute standout was Adam Muhammad. I would take him on the Oregon Ducks team. That's how good that this kid is. That's 24. They're running back, absolute stud. I got to give credit to Malik Benson, transfer from Florida State. In the beginning of the season, you're like, I don't know. I mean, I guess he's cool. He has been out freaking standing. And you see Jeremiah McClellan getting better. I thought that one-handed catch that actually should have been called a catch. That was like uh what's his David Tyree for the Giants in the Super Bowl against the Patriots. That level of catch. But Jeremiah McClellan, all of these reps and all of these big time moments, it is going to pay dividends in the playoff, because Decorian Moore will likely be back at some point in time. Gary Bryant Jr., he was in a boot last week. So, 2 weeks from now, sorry, 3 weeks from now, when they would play again, who knows? But there, there's opportunity. I mean, see, here's the thing is, if Oregon ended up in the top four, they would not play again for damn near a month. It'd be 4 weeks before they played again. That is my friends, that's a long time. That is a very long time. You do not want to go that long without playing. But in the run game today, Washington shut the Ducks down. Oregon only rushed for 2.5 yards per carry. Now, I'm not sure whether that is Washington's defense, who came in as one of the better defenses in college football. They're a top 25, top 30 defense in college football. Noah Whittington, 17 for 47. So was it Washington's defense or was this Oregon's offensive line not being healthy? Because it's one of the two. Or maybe it's a combination of both. That's definitely an option. Can we also talk about Jeremiah McClellan? I'm sorry, Jamari Johnson. This dude has been in a fantastic transfer. Now, in the springtime, people are like, oh, I don't know. Listen, the kid has showed up, and it is going to be clear that when Kenyon Sadiq goes to the NFL, everything is fine. And then you got Kendra Harrison, kid from North Carolina, I think it is coming out too. 5-star kid at tight end. The future of the position, and as a former tight end there, that makes me so happy. So happy to see continuing the legacy of NFL tight ends. And so he finished with 3 catches for 60 yards, and they were big third down catches and all of that. It was fantastic. Jeremiah McClellan, 3 for 78, 26 yards to carry. Jamari Johnson, 20 yards to carry. Malik Benson, 5 for 102 and 20 yards to carry with that 64-yard touchdown. It is important to have wide receivers who can catch the ball and go the distance. That is scary to defensive coordinators. And honestly, that's why Dante went 20 for 29 for 286 and probably should have had like 330 today if he didn't miss the throw to um Kenyon Sadiq for a touchdown. Like we're talking 330 because they wanted to stop the run and they thought that their corners would be able to hold up, but didn't look like I don't think Takario yeah, Takario Davis wasn't there today, and they clearly exposed number 6. They went after him. that the Dylan Robinson. They went after him in the pass game. Now, Oregon in the run game, they definitely have some stuff to clean up. But I thought Tatum Tuioti absolutely wasn't a dog today. Now, granted, got to go back and watch the film fully, but he was a freaking dog today. He impacted the game, and probably the most underrated player on this defense. This kid is a senior, Jaden Kennedy. I was not sure about him, but he's got it because he's 5'11, 185, but he's an NFL candidate. 100%. 100% with the way with the ball skills and yeah, definite NFL guy. And people don't even realize too that that Dylan Thieneman could come back if he really wanted to. And then also depending on Amari Washington's draft grade, because he has intentions on being one of the highest drafted players, he may be willing to come back too. This team is poised for the future, and you have to think about what Dan Lanning is building. This man is building a team that is tough, they are physical, and they are DGF. They don't give a you know what. They are going to come out and play extremely hard, extremely hard, and they're going to be physical. They do the things that you need to do because even when your offense is not clicking, the defense just is like, hold up, I'm going to give you a chance. I'm going to give you a chance to get the offense rolling. And I thought that Oregon missed a prime opportunity in the second quarter. And I've talked about it. I've brought it up 3 times already. But that pass to Sadiq in the corner that Dante missed, that's the difference in going up 17-0 and this being an absolute blowout. Because after that, Washington would have been defeated. Defeated. Husky Stadium would have got quiet and everything else. And then that 12 play drive probably doesn't happen. And some of it is just getting off the field on third down. But here's the thing. Washington has good football players. They are well coached. They were going to make plays. But Oregon controlled this game. Like there was never a point in time where I believe that Washington had the ball in a position to take the lead. that is a dominating win and a dominating performance. And Washington is 100% underthought of. I was shocked that they were not ranked coming into this week. Shocked. Now, part of me had conspiracy theory brain because I was like, oh, they're trying to set it up in case Washington wins to drop Oregon big to be able to keep them out of the college football playoff and get maybe a sixth SEC team in. That was my conspiracy brain thinking. But then my actual brain is just like, oh, they're not appreciating how good this football team is. And all of it had to do with that Wisconsin loss. If they beat Wisconsin, they're they're going to be ranked right there with USC. They're going to be a top they're going to be a teenage team. So I'm telling you, Oregon fans, I don't believe that Washington is going to be better, the better program or something, but do expect some close games in probably not next year, but I'm talking about in the future, 2, 3, 4, 5 years from now. You're going to have some games that it's going to be like, oh, ooh, ooh, whew, that was a close one. I'm telling you, because they're building something. But the question is, will Jed Fish stay? They don't they don't believe so in terms of long term. I don't know. I think he's there for next year. Yeah, I definitely do. So now let's look at the scoreboard a second for to today to kind of look at the college football landscape because this is actually kind of very, very interesting because because if you go back, you had if you go back, right? you had you've already today Vanderbilt beat up Tennessee. So Vanderbilt is going to be in the college football playoff discussion. And truthfully, we got to consider Diego Pavia for the Heisman. He is definitely I feel no, I can't say that definitely, but I believe at this point there is substantial reason to put him, um, in the top 4 or 5 of my Heisman voting for sure. So you had Vanderbilt win, so they're going to be in the college football playoff discussion. But then all them Tennessee folks, all the Tennessee truthers are going to be sitting there trying to tell you that they believe that Tennessee should I'm sorry that Texas should jump all the way up in the college football playoff. And I asked them last night on the live stream, for who? Whose spot they going to take? And I know that they beat Vanderbilt, but you know who Vanderbilt didn't lose to? Vanderbilt didn't lose to Florida. That's what they didn't do. They lost to Alabama and they lost to Texas. There has to be some sort of standard. Like you can't just say, "Oh, well, I beat this team. I'm in no matter what else I did." Craziness. Okay, so oh, I want y'all to watch this Virginia Tech Virginia game because if Virginia wins, Virginia is going to be in an ACC championship, and this matters for the Miami crowd because Miami's on the outside looking in right now, but they had a style point victory. Miami is praying to God because first of all, they were praying that LSU upset Oklahoma, which nearly happened if they don't bust coverage. But that's what they're looking for a new head coach right now. Alabama lost. I'm sorry, if Alabama loses to Auburn, Miami fans are going to be excited and ecstatic. But the biggest question is going to be because Notre Dame is going to beat the hell out of Stanford. So does Miami, especially if Alabama loses, does Miami then get close enough to Notre Dame that then that head to head starts to matter again? Because Miami looks like they're trending in the right direction again, and then head to head is going to matter. So if you're Notre Dame, you want Alabama to lose so bad. Like you are praying, you are sending up Hail Marys and kissing your rosary and doing everything else to get that to happen. Ohio State took care of business. They're good. Texas Tech took care of business. Oklahoma State, I'm sorry, Oklahoma won. That's they won. BYU looked like they were struggling. I'm gonna tell you. Here's the truth. BYU does not look like a college football playoff team. I like what they're doing. Bear Bachmeyer is doing a good job, 21-25 today, but they were playing UCF. They ran the ball okay today. It's just they're a well coached team. It's a nice story. They just don't feel athletic enough, if we're being honest. Um, and then you got Miami style points at the end. This was really like 31-7. They were running it up in the fourth quarter. Vanderbilt obviously won. Purdue took care of business. Texas A&M, absolute frauds. I told y'all that all season. People did not want to listen, and I'm like, they haven't played anybody. Marcel Reed will be a turnover machine at times, but I believe the kid has a bright future. I do, but he's not ready to go to the NFL. He is significantly better as a passer than he was last year, but he's not where he needs to be at all. So that matters. Ole Miss, you gotta ask questions about Ole Miss at this point in time. You have to. How can you not? Because Lane Kiffin is going to be gone, people. Probably. And if Lane Kiffin leaves, he's the offensive coordinator and he's the head coach. They might get punted out of the playoff. If you did it to Florida State for their quarterback being hurt, how you gonna do it when the offensive coordinator and the head coach are gone? Just craziness. It is almost time for me to get back on the air. I got a job to do outside of this. I got so I'm headed back to CW. But but let me look in the chat, see if there's anything else that you guys um wanted me to hit and cover bit before we got done because we're on the Oregon State Washington State game. Washington State's up 13-0. Oh, and also Miami is eliminated from the Miami is officially eliminated from the ACC championship conversation, I believe, because Duke won. So because they needed like five things to happen, and it ain't happening. Um, but I will say, no team in the country is going to want to come to Austin. It is going to be a zoo. It is going to be a zoo in the playoffs. Somebody asked, does Texas pass Texas A&M? Does Oregon pass Texas A&M? I do believe so. I believe that happens. Yeah, it is crazy. Ooh, does Malik Benson have another year of eligibility? That is a good question. I don't believe so, but if Diego Pavia can get another year and is lobbying for another one, who the hell knows? Who the hell knows? I'm just being real with you. Um, so yeah, we got a bunch of scores. Oh my God, Florida is beating up Florida State. Dude, they said Mike Norvell's coming back, but you can't they just, oh man, that's just pitiful. That is just pitiful. Oh, on a side note, I am so happy that Pitt lost after the way that Pat Narduzzi said, "Oh, I don't care about the Notre Dame game. We can lose by 100." Well, guess what you did? Oh, and then also on a side note, when it comes to Texas and people, Texas begging to get in the playoff, it's a meritocracy, people. You don't get to just lose to whoever. And they'll be like, well, that Kentucky win, it was tough on the road. Kentucky just got beat 41-0 by the same team that beat Miami. So I don't want to hear nothing about tough game against Kentucky. Miss me with that. Absolutely throw that in the trash. Clemson beat South Carolina today. So watch Shane Beamer because they're 4-8. 4-freaking-8. And Clemson is 7-5. Great job, Dabo, for not letting this season fall apart. I love it. Watch the name Jake Dickert over there at Wake Forest. He has done a freaking good ass job with that situation there. Fantastic job with that situation. And there might be some people that want him to be their next head coach. Man, man, that would be a freaking slam dunk hire. But to go back for a second, Oregon wins. They beat Washington for 26-14. This is a clear playoff team that people do not want to see. There is not a team in the country, not Ohio State, not Texas Tech, not anybody that wants to come to Eugene. But Ohio State ain't gonna have to go to Eugene for a playoff game. If Oregon plays Indiana again, I believe that they would beat them soundly because they didn't play very well in that game. I believe that Georgia, Texas Tech, and Ohio State are the teams that match up very well against Oregon. And I would probably pick against Oregon against Ohio State. But even though they can win the game, it would be kind of an upset with the way Ohio State's defense has been playing. Texas Tech, toss up game, tough game. Georgia, I would expect Oregon to win, but narrowly. Ole Miss, I love Oregon against it. I love Oregon against every other team in the field except for those three. And you saw with the performance today. Demond Williams has had games where he threw for well over 400 yards. He was running all over the place. 10 rushes today, 27 yards. They can contain him. And he had a long of 18 and still only had 27 yards. That is winning football. That is winning defense. And I swear to God, I believe, and everybody remembers the Chip Kelly days and all of that stuff. There is nothing that makes me happier than watching good football and good defense, where you can line up and just knock people in the face and stop them. But Washington, they ran the ball today. Them Adam Muhammad. Can we get him to go along with De'Aaron Hill and Jordan Davis? I like that. But you guys, though, I got to get back to work. So you guys tune into CW to watch the halftime because I got to check in on the game and everything else. You guys, thank you guys. Make sure you guys share, subscribe, tell a friend about the show. That's why we are one of the fastest growing college football channels on YouTube. We got big things coming for 2026, and it is because of you guys. Hashtag be one of us. Oh, sorry. Hashtag one of us. You guys have did this. I'm here for you guys even while I'm at work because it matters so much. And I'm here, y'all. And then we will have the reaction show on Sunday as well. But also, if Alabama get beat by Auburn, we'll be back. Peace out.